I'm not allowed to say the fifth word in this game's title or my roommate is going to play that stupid song, I just know it. But anyway, Shin Megami Tensei Strange Redux takes us on a journey to...
Just a small town girl.
God damn it.
Living in a lonely world. Took the midnight train going.
You know, it's really hard to write a review for Strange Journey Redux. The content of the review really depends on how much you're assuming your audience knows about Shin Megami Tensei games in general. If I had to explain all the intricacies of the series and how this one differs to the others, the runtime of this video would probably be an hour long, but I have done my best to accommodate a more general audience. If you are new to Strange Journey Redux, I recommend checking out ZQRacing's tips video. It covers a broad range of things you really should know and is super useful. He was also kind enough to donate some of his gameplay footage for me to use in this video since I don't have a 3DS capture card, so be sure to head over to his channel and check it out. Now, as far as Shin Megami Tensei games go, Strange Journey Redux is probably the best entry point for the series in terms of gameplay, and it's also one of the most unique from a story perspective, especially in its setting. The way this game is designed is masterful in this regard. There is something for everybody, and with multiple difficulty options you can make it pretty hard, even if you are a long-time fan. SMT games normally take place in Japan, or they end up in Japan at some point. Strange Journey is one of the very few that doesn't. It's for this reason that some fans actually debate whether or not this is even a Shin Megami Tensei game, and I'll admit, when I started and the story began world building, I thought, how the hell are they going to tie demons in with this? And then they just did, and somehow it doesn't feel out of place. I would actually say that the story in Strange Journey Redux is one of its strongest points. It mostly makes absolutely no sense, but also perfect sense at the same time. Never once did I think something was out of place when I was playing, but thinking back, there are definitely so many aspects that are mind-boggling. The story does have to be strong on its own merits too, because they opted not to add an English voiceover to Redux. The original didn't have it either, but I know some people were expecting it in this remake. It's also the perfect Shin Megami Tensei game to have an English voiceover, since it's one of the few SMT games that doesn't take place in Japan. This may make it seem like the game drags on in the beginning, but personally I was actually hooked on the story from the get-go. I remember thinking, where are they going with this? Because it's way out there, even for an SMT game. Gameplay wise, it's just as strong as ever, but with plenty of little quality of life additions and a kind of built-in cheat engine which we'll talk about in a little bit. Strange Journey Redux is a first-person dungeon crawler. For anybody who's played an Etrian Odyssey game, this will feel very familiar. Obviously, what sets it apart from other dungeon crawlers is a Shin Megami Tensei flavour, the Pokemon-like demon capture mechanic. There are over 300 different demons you can recruit, and you'll need to do just that to ensure you have a full party of strong demons throughout. Capturing them is straightforward, but also the furthest thing from easy. The way it's done is by talking to them in battle instead of attacking them, and you have to choose the right options in the conversation or they'll just attack you or leave. Sometimes the correct answer can feel totally arbitrary, but it's actually somewhat fun to negotiate with demons. Another central demon mechanic is fusing. This is probably where you are going to get your strongest demons, or at least it would be in almost any other SMT game. In Strange Journey Redux though, you have a password system. This is what I was referring to earlier when I said a kind of cheat engine, because the password system can certainly be used as one. Let's say you have a really strong demon and your friend is struggling with a boss. You can actually generate a password that's attached to your strong demon and give it to your friend. Assuming he has enough Maka, the in-game currency, he can summon an exact copy of it. That's probably how the devs thought this would play out, and it was a great tool for people making walkthroughs or boss guides. They just provide you a party of demons they used with passwords. But it wasn't long before people had reverse engineered this system. Now you can simply go to a website, build your perfect demon, and generate a password to add it to your game. You can learn more about password generators by clicking the little icon in the top corner. So now that you know a little bit about the demon system, I'm going to jump back to the story for just a second. The start of the game introduces you as a soldier. Your mission is to investigate a giant tornado in Antarctica that is expanding and threatening to destroy the whole world. If you're unfamiliar with Strange Journey, I dare you to take a guess how they work demons into this plot. It makes no sense, but by the 20th minute, you won't feel anything is out of place for the rest of the game. It really is a great story. I always have a lot of fun in SMT games, but I usually never finish them. I drop 60 to 80 hours into them doing nothing but capturing and fusing demons, and then I end up moving on before making it to the end. And it's a perfectly fine way to play. I still get plenty of entertainment value out of them, and it's testament to the game that it's able to suck up so much of my time on pure gameplay mechanics. But for those more focused gamers out there, Strange Journey has multiple endings and they mostly deal with an alignment system in the game. All your actions affect your alignment, which also affects a laundry list of other things in the game, but to simplify it a little bit, you can essentially think of them as different kinds of playthroughs. You can do a lore playthrough and then a chaos playthrough, for example. It has replay value in spades. The 3DS still has life in it yet. As much as I'd prefer to see it fade away in favour of the Switch, Atlus is making it hard for me to put down with Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology and now Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux. If you have a 3DS, you should pick this up. Everybody should. Unless something sounded particularly unappealing to you, this game is perfect. It has something for everyone. It's the perfect entry title, it's perfect for returning players, it's even good for people who've played the original. You're bound to get a ton out of Strange Journey Redux, so it's time to bust out your 3DS charger. You're gonna need it. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing, and I'll see you all soon.